One match I've heard you talk about that I'd love to hear about is Brock Lesnar Kurt Angle Iron Man match. Because I heard
Oh,
you say that what went into that, it's crazy. I can't imagine how good your memory must be, or what was at least then. Can you take us through that match and what that's like for a referee to have to memorize so many elements?
just like TNA, they gave me a match and I thought it was a joke. I tried to give it to another referee and not me and Brandon. I mean, not me and Daniel. And it was another Iron Man match, and it was TJ and
TJP and Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander, and I thought it was a joke. I was like, I'm not gonna referee for a fucking hour. Are you kidding me? And it was the same concept. They came to me and they said we're gonna do a match. It's like 8 segments, and I'm like, 8 segments? We only have 10. And you talking about memory? I had to remember, which you have to remember over a long period of time, 7 finishes back and forth. And I have to admit, I went to Brock at one point, and this was like in the middle, and I completely went, I don't fucking remember what's the next finish. I don't remember. And I said, Brock, where are we at? The angle slam? And Brock's like this. And it was cool. I'm not mad about it. Brock's like, no, you dumb fuck. It's the angle slam. He has one over. And I'm like, okay, sorry. And from that point, my memory picked up. My memory picked up, and I was like, oh, okay, okay, okay. Now, this was young in my career, too. So it was really something, and I would not want to put any referee through that again.
Yeah, Daniel, to throw it to you, have you had a match similar to that that has tested your skills as an official?
Yeah. It was let's see, November 22. It was actually right here in my home city of Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, God, here
Um,
you are, one of those guys with that mind that just puts dates and shit out. Go ahead.
it was the Impact taping after the pay-per-view that did Josh Alexander and Frankie Kazarian went like 40, almost 45 minutes the night before, and I ref that match. And then the very next, and that was when Bully Ray came back or cashed in his. No, he was already back, but he cashed in the call your shot with and all that whole thing and that whole stuff at the end. So that happened. But then the next night, which it didn't air for another week or 2 weeks or whatever it was, but the next night though, we had a 59 minute and 40 no 59 minute and 58 seconds or something like that
Wow.
match with Speedball Mike Bailey versus Josh Alexander. Basically, they were gonna go all the way out, and then that was an Iron Man match. There was only one finish, but the finish had to happen where they still leave time on the clock before the 60-minute time limit ran out.
Wait,
So,
Daniel. So this match had an hour and it was one finish?
yep.
No falsies?
Oh, there was plenty of
Okay,
falsies.
but they didn't go back and forth.
Yes,
Okay.
it wasn't like a Iron Man where whoever has the most finishes. It was one finish, but it was
Daniel, that's
literally
easy. That's easy. Come
no.
on.
It's not because they had time that they had to literally know where they were in the entire match. They had to we had to add stuff, of course. We had to take stuff away, of course. Like it's a whole thing. And no, it was wild. And then I did an Iron Man match once. Well, it was with Alex Shelley and Trey Miguel actually at Revolver for Sammy, and that one was fun. But it was so many. We literally were counting the finishes before just to make sure we had the numbers right because we got so sidetracked that there was one part where I'm going, wait, you have more fit. You're already in the lead here. What are you talking about? You can't like if you already won at this point. They're like, oh, because it was gonna be a sudden death, and they were like, oh wait, that's right, we got to switch this one out, and it was, and that was, but remembering all those finishes too were was kind of wild, like you were saying. But that was only um, that was a 30-minute Iron Man, but went into overtime, so it wasn't a 60-minute, but still, it's it's a lot to remember.
Yeah. I know. I
It
mean,
is.
every
And that 60-minute one, that wasn't my only match of the night, by the way.
oh
Well, mine either at TNA.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't my only match of the you're right. It wasn't our only match of the night. We had I remember though when Brian did that, he's like, I think you gave me one of your matches because you were like, bro, I can't I need a little bit longer of a break. You got to do this match.
Bro, I was sweating so hard, um, because I wasn't in the shape I used to be. Obviously, as we get older, you're not in the same shape, and we did it in front of no people too.
Right.
And Josh and TJ were determined we're not stopping. We're not going to stop this because during the pandemic, when I got to TNA, they were able to stop in the middle of a match, cut it, and all that stuff. People get back in position and all that stuff. They were determined we weren't stopping, and it was kind of like what Daniel said. We had to pay attention to the clock at the end for the finish, and that got tricky and very like nerve wracking as hell. But yeah, it was in front of no people, hot as shit. I am sweating. I mean, I had to towel off, not dry off, towel off.
Towel off.
It was bad.
His shirt was like like it just came out of the wash, like that wet. It
Yes.
was, wow.
Insane.
Rewind, recap, relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interview.